past couple of days from Kaduna in Bochi to southern Kaduna in Zamfara. Right now, the information we were able to get this morning is how some farmers and herders clash took place. These bandits went to these people's homes, raised their homes, kidnapped the farmers because they did not pay their due tax. So these farmers pay tax to these bandits. And the insecurity situation right now seems to be coming with a kind of resurgence, and it's actually quite unfortunate. As of yesterday earlier, Sheikh Gumi, whom we know as an Islamic cleric and who usually mediates between the bandits and the federal government before they were declared as terrorists, said in a particular forum where he was addressing his congregants that they should try to vote for someone who would try to understand these bandits, that the bandits are their brothers, and so they shouldn't vote for someone who is going to be against them, but someone who would negotiate, have a conversation with them, and so that there could be peace. So in other words, he's saying that the bandits is part of them, the bandits are their brothers, that what they need is for someone to listen to them so that whatever it is that is their grievance can be resolved. Meanwhile, souls have died. The economy in most of these states which these bandits have pervaded have become something that no one can write home about. Their internal generated revenue is not even something to talk about. It's devastating. And so this is a scenario. And a lot of us have been asking questions over time. I recall earlier this year, there was a particular forum I attended, media fora, and the question of restructuring came on the table. You recall that the presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party has said that one of the strong mandates, or rather one of the things he will do when he comes into power in 2023, if he wins, is that the concept of restructuring will be seriously and duly considered. And we're asking, has the situation gone beyond a state where restructuring can resolve the problems that we're currently facing? We are having issues with the Southeast. The Northeast as well is going through serious issues as well. We're having an economy that at this moment is unpredictable. There is high level of unemployment and inflation and a lot of issues, serious prevalence of issues. And so the presidential candidates are telling us in what way they can try to do something about most of those challenges. For the Labour Party, they said they would do more of production than consumption. Well, and they would try as much as possible to have a dialogue with the Academic Staff Union of Universities so we'll no longer have strike. They also promised that they would increase salary payments from the stipulated 30,000 naira minimum wage to 100,000 naira. We already know that there is an endemic problem, and how this will be instituted is what we do not know. But that is what they intend to achieve if they are elected into that position come February 25. Now, another scenario with the People's Democratic Party is he talked about trying as much as possible to consider restructuring. Also talked about how most of the facilities that we have as refineries would be sold so that we can have employment opportunities. According to him, he's not saying that he's going to sell off the value of the nation, but he will try as much as possible to see how the budget can be financed and create employment opportunities. Well, these are all promises. We do not know how that is going to work. But then I want us to consider something, the concept of restructuring Nigeria. It has often taunted proponents of the idea with a cynical question: what do we mean by restructuring? Remember that President Muhammadu Buhari once described advocates of restructuring as ignorant and naive. He actually thought that restructuring is a concept that may not work. All right. Now, if you recall too, on several forums and interviews, you hear politicians talk about restructuring. They've always said that it's going to be a long way to go if we need to sit down and infuse it or implement it in the polity or in the structure. However, we are going to try as much as possible to dissect it. And I'm going to throw a question out to you. Is restructuring going to resolve the current issues that is prevailing every sector of the Nigerian economy? Is restructuring going to work? Is restructuring going to resolve this problem? Would it cement the dichotomy that we're currently experiencing at the moment? Would it cement the vacuum that has been created with a lot of disappointment and frustration that Nigerians are currently going through? When Nigeria practices it, and what benefit is it going to give us in the long run, and how it intends to resolve most of the problems that we're currently facing in the country? Barrister, good morning.
Good morning, Esther. I'm glad to be with you.
Thank
Merry
you.
Christmas.
Same to you.
Compliments of the season.
Yes, same to you.
And best wishes to you and your teaming listeners.
Thank you so much, Barrister. How are
Thank you. Yeah, I'm doing well.
All right, sir. So you heard my introduction where I was talking about the concept of restructuring, and I was talking about the issues that we're currently going through in almost every sector that makes up Nigeria as a whole. The presidential candidates, especially those that represent four of the what I call popular political parties, that is the PDP, APC, Labour Party, and the NNPP, have come out to give their mandate on the several sectors that they intend to work on immediately if they are elected, when the election process comes on. But the issues have eaten so deep, especially restructuring, especially security. The issues have eaten so deep that right now it's a huge deal on how anyone is going to resolve this problem next year. It's not going to be a miracle. So, will restructuring resolve the current prevalence, the endemic situation that Nigeria is currently facing? Will restructuring resolve it?
Well, before I go into the issue of restructuring, let me very quickly react to the first issue you raised in your prologue regarding the unfortunate statement made by Sheikh Gumi, asking the people to embrace the bandits as their brothers, asking the people not to vote for anybody who is resolved, any candidate who has resolved to fight the bandits, asking the people to embrace the bandits and see them as the preservers of their forest. He called them their forest warriors. I see this as a very terrible, unfortunate statement, and I am shocked and surprised that 3 days after Sheikh Gumi made that statement, no security agency in Nigeria has asked him to come and explain himself and make himself better understood in case there is something that he knows which the rest of the country, the citizens, do not know. It is shocking. It is shocking that a group of people whose nomenclature changed from terrorists by the government reduced their nomenclature from being terrorists to calling them bandits. Of course, the implication is that as terrorists, their activities will attract international attention. But as bandits, they will be municipalized, they will be localized, irrespective of the mayhem they are causing all around the country. Now, a new paradigm has been brought to the fore, which is love your bandits. Sheikh Gumi is now asking Nigeria to fall in love with the bandits. It is mind-boggling. And of course, if there's an adage that says, when evil stays for long, it takes the shape of good. If this statement is not outrightly, massively condemned by all leaders across board in this country, then what it now means is that even the leaders that the people expected that should condemn the statements may have adopted Sheikh Gumi's admonition, and even the leaders may be subtly asking the people to love their bandits. I have not heard many prominent leaders condemn this statement. I have not also heard condemnation from the quarters of government. I have not had any action from the security agencies. Because I do not know how to categorize this speech this admonition by Sheikh Gumi, asking the people to love the bandits. Meanwhile, it is in the news this morning that in Niger State, a particular community that could not pay the 3 million naira tax given to them, an agrarian community that could not pay 3 million naira tax, were ransacked and many people killed by this same bandit that Sheikh Gumi is asking them to fall in love with. Now, all around the country, the activities of the bandits have left tales of woes, destruction, weeping, crying, annihilation of not only the people but their hopes. Yet, somebody as high-ranking a personality as Sheikh Gumi is asking the people to love their bandits. We are looking up to the government to do what is right. We are looking up to the government to write narratives and give succor and hope to the people. Now, Esther, I want to tell you that when we talk about restructuring, this kind of statement by Sheikh Gumi has only given massive credence to the concepts and the agitation for restructuring. We can now talk about restructuring. I will speak to you in my capacity as the Secretary General of the Movement for Nigeria Restructuring. A campaign we started in year 2000 and had sustained that up to today. I addressed a master's degree class in University of Lagos in year 2000, and I told that class that unless and until Nigeria is restructured, this country will not grow. That was 22 years ago. Between then and today, the question is, has Nigeria grown? Has Nigeria developed? After almost 23 years of civilian democracy, what is the fate of Nigeria? And I can tell you that in another 25 years, if Nigeria is not restructured, Nigeria can still not grow. It's not a prophecy of doom, neither is it a prophecy or statement of pessimism. It is a statement born out of clear understanding of the issues, constitutional issues, the structural issues, economic, political, geographical, and otherwise, even social. When we talk about restructuring, it is a holistic concept. Now, a man will sit down in Medugri and decree what will happen to the man in Abagana. And how do you explain and bring it together? A man will sit down in Sokoto and decree what will happen to the man in Ahoda. How do you expect that to work? In a country of over 923,000 square kilometers of land, in a country of over 200 million people, everything cannot be coming from the center. Now we can begin to talk about issues of restructuring. And I will be as elementary as possible. I will be as expository and as explanatory as possible, so that anybody who is kind enough to listen to our analysis and our analogy will clearly understand that that is the only way this country will progress. Restructuring, anchored on true fiscal federalism. Now, we will look at all the issues sector by sector. We'll do a sectoral analysis. We will start from the issue of security, because the statement made by Sheikh Ahmed Gumi, which response opened the open law, is anchored on authority. We have been agitating and asking for enthronement and establishment of state policing structure. A man cannot sit down in Abuja called Inspector General. General in the sense that Nigeria has become generalized under his inspectorate. He sits down in Abuja and issues orders that will investigate a policeman that has just shot and killed a defenseless, armless lawyer, a pregnant woman in Lagos. And the order has to come from Abuja for such investigation to take place. I'm not taking away anything from the act that may be taking place by the Commissioner of Police in Lagos State and his team. But I can tell you that the hands of the Commissioner of Police may be tied by the pronouncement of the Inspector General of Police in Abuja. And assuming that happens, God forbid, how do you expect a robust response as a result of the actions of the police commissioner in Lagos State? That is a typical example of what we're talking about. And when we say state police, we cannot run away from the fact that Nigeria is massively under-policed. A country with a policing structure of give around 350 to 400,000 men, policing a population of 200 million people. That is a far cry from the expectation of United Nations and international standards. Meanwhile, we have local pockets of militia and things and the institutions and establishments that are akin to state policing structure that you call the vigilante. You have them in every part of the country. In the north, you call civilian JTF. In the south, it's called vigilante. In the south, in the southwest, it is called Amoteku. Now we have a Bedago over here that is neither seen or heard, that is neither here nor there. You have the forest guard in Enugu State. You have all manner of things that are pseudo police organizations. What is making the country to shy away from formalizing the structure and making it state policing structure, such that there will be responsibilities, there will be expectations from the people, there will be standards set, and there will be measurement and evaluation of such standards. And we now expect a direction, a particular trajectory that the country will follow. Mm-hmm. In terms of security, there is no reason why what is going on in deep far north will be the same thing going on in deep down south. It doesn't add up. If you now tie it to our political system and structure, we practice American presidential system of government. That government is anchored on true fiscal federalism. And that is why what is going on in Texas is different from what is going on in Minnesota. And it's different from what is going on in the state of New York, even the state of New Jersey, that is shared the same corridor with the state of New York. They have different laws, different formations, and different establishments. And that's why you have county police, you have city police, you have state police, and you now have federal police. 4 layers of policing structure in America. And that is why nobody can do anything and go scot-free. Here, you have only one layer of state policing. Any other one can be said to be masquerading as quasi-police. Mm-hmm. We are supposed to, we have 3 layers of governance: the local government, the state government, and the federal government. Why should we have only one layer of policing, which is the federal? What is wrong with having state police, and what is wrong with having local government police that will be integrating and interacting with the people? The police commissioner, the IG will tell you that they want to do community policing. Community policing is different from local government police structure. It's completely different in concept, in manpower formation, and even in operations. What we're talking about is council police, state police, and federal police. With this, I can tell you that there will be a lot of difference in our security architecture. The military, the Air Force, the Navy, and the rest of them, those can be federal institutions. But when it comes to police, we expect to have at least 3 layers of policing structure, because their responsibility is for internal maintenance and for internal municipal peace and order.
All right,
you allow the armed forces to take care of issues regarding to external aggression and external security.
Okay, Barrister, we need to...
That is where our federalism should work.
I need to give you a pause there, because I need to ask another important question, and then we can quickly open the phone lines for people to actually respond to the conversation we're having this morning. Meanwhile, we're currently streaming live on YouTube, all right? So you just go on YouTube, right on there, type Voice of the People 90.3 FM, and you'll currently see issues in the news streaming live, okay? And then of course it is important for you to subscribe, because once you do, any program currently ongoing, you get immediately notified about it, and you can follow the conversation. Now, Barrister, due to this precarious multi-dimensional security and economic quagmire, these regional groups calling for the breakup of the nation as presently constituted have actually gained attention and has added to the upheaval shaking the nation to its roots. Now the question is this: the new administration, or rather another administration which may be coming in 2023, or it could be this current administration just with a different leader in tow this time around, if they do consider this approach of restructuring or regionalization, what do you think it's going to take to make this work? because it seems that most of the agitations that we've currently been talking about, especially from secessionist groups like IPOP and ESN, Sunday Igboho, a self-acclaimed activist, and even in the north as well, you realize that they all have one fundamental complaint, and most of them feel that their needs are not properly paid attention to. For the Hausa Fulani man or the Fulani man, he will tell you that he's not properly represented, or they are looked aside, or they're not considered as persons to be part of the society. They're not properly habitated. People usually like to put them aside or consider them to be not part of Nigeria. The Igbos would tell you that when it comes to parastatals and government affairs, they're not properly represented. They seem to be beneath the line. No one is looking out for them. When it comes to representation in any sector of the economy, especially sensitive sectors, they consider themselves to be the least represented. And then the Yoruba man will also tell you that the same thing applies for them. So, if a new administration is coming on board, or possibly it's this current administration, how do you think they will begin to implement the necessary changes to address most of those grievances? The foundation needs to be looked into before any other major step will be taken.
Well, let us first and foremost agree on one basic issue, and that is Nigeria working as presently constituted? All the agitations you hear and see across the country are direct expressions of the frustration of the non-workability of the present-day Nigeria. You mentioned Sunday in the whole group. You mentioned the ESN. You mentioned the IPOP. There are the Egbesu, the middle belt, the rest of them. Even in the Arewa Consultative Forum, everybody is complaining either of marginalization or deprivation or of not getting enough or not being included in the polity as they should be. Some of them may be wrong, some may be right, some may be a matter of perception. But the basic underlining factor is that there are agitations, there are lack of satisfaction across the land from people about the affairs of Nigeria as presently constituted. And that is the basic foundation for the call for restructuring.
All right. Barrister, are you there? Hello, Barrister? Hello, Barrister Fred?
Yes, you now adjust it, you tinker with it, and that is restructuring. There is nothing else. So if anybody tells you he or she does not understand the definition of restructuring,
Okay, we seem to be having a connection situation. Barrister Fred, can you hear me? Barrister Fred and Zako, can you hear me? Hello?
Hello?
Can you hear me now?
Yes. Yes, I can hear you clearly.
All right, please go ahead. We lost your connection there.
Oh, so any structure that wants to make it work, that is restructuring. If you like, call it amendment of the structure. The important thing is that you want to tinker with that structure to make it work, because the way.
Okay, we're beginning to have the network issue. I was telling myself that I had grace at the time, but now it seems like we're experiencing another upheaval. Barrister, can you hear me? All right, we'll still call the barrister back so that we can get him to properly exacerbate the conversation we're having this morning. Now, I am asking you, based on the little that the barrister has been able to talk about, in terms of helping us to elaborate and understand what we're talking about this morning, do we think that restructuring would resolve these endemic challenges that we're facing in every sector of the Nigerian polity? I must tell you, if you have been following the trends in recent time, in every sector of Nigeria's economy, aviation, industry, agriculture, education, commercialization, forex, even when it comes to international relationships that we have with our counterparts out there, there is a problem, there is a lacuna. And so, if we ask for, some secessionists have been saying we want to break out, we want to have our own country, we want to do things our own way. But if you currently look at that region, the regions asking to be seceded from the country, you see that they're underdeveloped. And there's a long way to go compared to other states that seem to have improved economically and industrialization wise. So if they have to start fending for themselves, if they want to be identified for themselves, they have a long way to go. It's going to be serious effort. And then another thing is leadership. All these areas, what are the leaders doing to see that something is done in improving their economy, improving their social network, improving every sector that makes these regions viable? These are the questions we have to ask ourselves. The barrister is talking about state policing, that it is important for us to have that, considering the fact that Nigeria is under-policed. But then, besides security, what about the economy? If this administration coming on board feels that they need to look for ways through which they can attend to all the grievances from most of these ethnic groups, how do they intend to go about it? What is the first thing to do for them to elicit the trust of the people? The current insecurity we're facing, I'm telling you, the next administration coming on board, I don't know what method they want to implement, but we should still see that there is a long way ahead, because it seems these persons, these individuals, are bent in trying to create a sense of disunity in the country, which we will not allow. But the question is, these are endemic issues that requires these conversations, that requires responses from everyone. It is a collective effort. Will restructuring tackle this problem? Will restructuring ease off insecurity? Will restructuring ease off the clamor for secessionism by different ethnic groups? Will restructuring help us understand that the country should be represented as one? Would it create employment opportunity? Would it resolve the frustrations that we're currently facing in the country at the moment? These are the questions that we need to ask ourselves. That is only if we understand the concept of restructuring. Each group's having to identify themselves, each group's having to fend for themselves. If you look at the historical perspective, this is not the first time there has been an agitation. We recall that the Civil War was one of the most bloodiest experiences that the country had faced because of agitations like this, which was not only restricted to the southeast. However, it witnessed a spike in attacks on the farming populace, especially by criminal headers. And it has also caused a rise in kidnapping for cash, which is another agitation that we are currently facing by these groups. You need to know how much has been paid to these kidnappers and to these bandits and terrorists. About $600 million. If you need to do a calculation of all the monies that have been paid to these bandits for people's loved ones to be released. Some people even die in the process, and these bandits collect their money. So it is important for us to look at these issues. Civil societies coming together, civil activist groups coming together and calling for this. How do we go about the concept for restructuring and redistribution of power from a usually powerful central authority? How do we do that? Post-colonial Nigeria, which also emerged after agitations at independence, retained the parliamentary system, which left behind by the British overlords to the chagrin of many. But it didn't stay for long. However, some persons will say that period there was a little bit of peace because there was redistribution of power. It wasn't just by one person or by one aspect or sector or region of the Nigerian populace. So the question I'm throwing out to you there, will restructuring ameliorate the current challenges that Nigeria is facing in every sector of its polity that seems to want to deface its identity? All right, the number to call 0700 903 903 903. You can also send us a WhatsApp message on 0700 903 9039. And you can also send your comments on YouTube as well. And, I will read it out here on the program. Hello, good morning. 0700 903 903 903. That is the number to call. I see someone trying to call, but the connection had gone off again. 0700 903 903 903. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Good morning, how are you? Hello? Okay. Hello? Hello, good morning. All right, please do call back. I see that we've lost that connection as well. 0700 903 903 903. That is the number to call. 0700 903 903 903. Hello, good morning.
Hello, Esther, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Fine. Happy New Year in advance.
Same to you, Ben. Thank you for calling.
This year will not end until we receive a miracle.
Amen. Amen.
Quick one, The barrister spoke so well.
Yes.
I'm telling you the truth, he spoke so well. What he said is the truth. In his examination, he will score 98%.
Okay.
As a barrister, if it is in the court, they have won the case. No, they will tell the other one, no need to waste their time. Don't go. Let me tell you, this restructuring, it is not even candidate like promising me us that in is just what they are telling a small child to sleep so that mama will go market. It will not work. The people it will choke are the governors. And it is in the hand of the governors to restructure Nigeria. You have to change constitution. It is not in the exclusive list. A president cannot come in and say, I will restructure House of Assembly, sign it. Now you get to tell the House of Assembly, you get 24 states. Out of that 24 states, you will get the House of Assembly, you get to talk from each House of Assembly. Look at the constitutional amendment now. Only 8 states we have gotten, other ones refused. So how can it happen? How can it work? It will not work. Because if you talk these governors, they want to enjoy most is to go to Abuja, collect money. Now you are telling them to generate funds by themselves. How do you think? Will you sign something that will choke you?
But the presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party is promising as one of his manifesto that restructuring will be something he will consider. So that's what is bringing the conversation today.
He's not in his hand. He knows. He's just saying that to win the election when he enter now. And it will shock the Northerners more because their governors are more lazy. And they have the population. They will not be. Concerning state police, America this, America state, America local government. It will not work in Nigeria. Look at what is happening in the Ebonyi Rivers. What governors are doing with common vigilante, the Budago they have. Look at what the governors are doing with the Hopus of the all those people. So it will not work. State police will not work. The governors have not paid 18,000 their minimum wage. They receive 30,000 they have not paid their own workers. Who will fund the police? Okay, we did the federal government that will fund the state police. They will pay them salary. Now think about it now. To keep a policeman, how much? AK-47 is 500 and something thousand. You need a police station in every community. Who will build it? Is it the federal government? We are just saying, because I say if it is in examination, he will score 98%. He will pass the exam. But in practical, it cannot work. The only thing we have to do in this country is to polarize police. We are under police. You need to polarize the IG. One IG of police is too small. Every region is supposed to have one IG of police. And very powerful police headquarters there will be equipped with modern technology so that they will work directly on that region with the governors. And you cannot replace these IGs. If you be under the federal control, they will equip them, empower them more. The police will not work. It will not work. So we need about 1 million police. Look at that of 300 and something thousand police, we have about 150 are with the lead on daily basis, carrying women handbags, going with a guy in the party, picking money.
Ben, thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
God bless you.
You're welcome.
Yeah,
you
God
too.
bless you.
All right. So the reason why I called Ben is so we can take all the calls. When we do call in, just try to keep it as short as possible so we can accept all the calls. Hello. Good morning.
Hello. Yeah. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Yeah. I thank the Lord for giving us the opportunity to speak through your medium.
Thank you. Good morning. What's your name and your location?
You are hearing me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes, you are guest. Just is a wonderful man. He's a wonderful analyst.
Thank you so much. But you didn't tell us your name. Your name, please. Your name. Your name, sir. Your name and location.
Are you hearing me?
I can hear you, sir. But apparently you can't hear me well. What is your name?
He's doing one. The only thing is I think the network is bad.
Yes, it is. The network is bad.
Yes, but he's done so far. I've spoken very accurately, promptly, and directly. And but he said it's unfortunate for Gumi to make such a statement.
True.
It's not unfortunate. It's fortunate.
Okay.
I say fortunate because,
Hello?
especially that Gumi.
Hello?
What I said, yes.
You're
What
breaking up.
I
You said fortunate because.
Yes, because he's being exposed by God. You know, he has been masquerading himself as somebody of peace and all that. Somebody representing you, whatever. Talking about this, making he is the head of these terrorists.
Because there is no fact. There is no fact to that, please. So let's be mindful of what we say, okay? Please.
Yes, he said what he said. That statement is very divisive. It's dangerous.
Yes, it's a divisive statement. We know.
If there is a government, if we actually have a government in Nigeria, the government would have picked him up since, and then he would have been explaining himself. They are not, which means, as a matter of fact, the federal government not country for keeping quiet, for leaving this man to be causing this problem, and then sponsoring terrorism in Nigeria. What these bandits or terrorists they've done to Nigerians, how they are attacking villages, how they are destroyed, because they are pursuing an agenda. That is Islamization of Nigeria.
Okay.
That is it.
All right, thank you.
Nigeria.
Thank you so much for calling. We need to take all the calls. Unfortunately, you did not say your name. Thank you. All right. So the question or the clamor by saying the statement that Sheikh Gumi made at one of his religious gathering, where he said that people should vote for someone who would be a little bit sympathetic towards the plight of the bandits, saying that they're their brothers and that they need someone who would just have a conversation with them so that peace will reign. And of course, the calls have been asked, why has he not been arrested? Do you think that maybe the government may be afraid that if they should arrest him, possibly those bandits may decide to wage war or decide to continue more intensely with their kidnappings and banditry and ravaging of human beings, people within some certain areas and their items? Do you think that could be one of the reasons why he has not been called in? Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Welcome to the program.
Yeah, my name is Innocent.
Innocent.
Yeah, I'm calling from Oshodi.
All right, Innocent. Go ahead, please.
The professor has spoken very well.
All right.
But I wonder if this country will ever work. This same Sheikh Gumi, sometimes ago, went to the forest to negotiate with terrorists. Nobody asked him any question, nothing happened. Just recently, the CBN governor brought out policy that will, for the first time, curb election rigging in Nigeria. Brought out policy that exposed individuals in Nigeria that took money in their houses, money got back, they can no longer be used. Nothing was said about it. The man that brought that policy has been a civil society came down and said they should arrest him because maybe politicians have paid them to do that. Sheikh Gumi came out again to tell Nigerians not to vote for people that will work against terrorists in Nigeria. Nobody did anything about it. I wonder if Nigeria will ever work. And that one you are saying, the PDP flag bearer said he was going to tackle restructuring. Those are just political talks. We Christians, both Christians and Muslims that want Nigeria to work, we need to embark on prayers because people are in this country that are helping that this Nigeria must not move forward. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much for calling on the program. I really appreciate that. 0700 903 903 903. That is the number to call. 0700 903 903 903. And we're streaming live on YouTube too. So you can go on there and be virtually part of the conversation, any part of the world that you are. Send your comments too. You know, if you're somewhere where you cannot make a call or if somehow you have connection issues to call in, you can actually send your comments on YouTube. Also, and our WhatsApp number is 0700 903 9039. The WhatsApp number is 0700 903 9039. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm good.
Compliments of the season.
I same to you. I'm Nikki, where you're calling from the project.
Nikki, how are you today?
I'm good.
All right, go ahead, please.
Thank you. I see, touching what we are talking about, looking at what Gumi said, how much has Nnamdi Kanu said that he's languishing in prison right now? Even when the court
has decided that this man has committed no offense, let this man go. The government refused, and they were still holding him down. Just because, you see, we may not like to say things, but if we speak things the way it should be, that is when this country will be better. It's because of the region where Nnamdi Kanu came from. That is why. Now, what do you say about the man that was arrested in Egypt? What is that his name? Upon investigation, that was I think the PK of Gumi.
Gumi, yes.
Upon investigation, a lot of incriminating materials were found on this man. Where is he now? He's walking free. So let's not deceive our country. See, the truth is that restructuring in this country, the people who are benefiting it are the people who are, as we speak right now, sitting on it. Leave out the governors. The southern governors themselves is because they themselves have not decided to look and know that the whole southerners are suffering because of what they think they are getting from Abuja. Because the politicians are those who don't want restructuring to work, because why? We'll be able to hold them accountable. The structure will not be as bogus as it is, right? It's too bogus. And then when you begin to, let me give you a very clear scenario. As Buhari is now, where people are saying, he has not tried enough, this and that. Some people will say it's just because he's a Muslim. This one say because he's a Christian. Then some people will say, no, let us protest. This when Goodluck was there because he was a Christian, was he not the what happened? You see? So they know that they have opportunity to leverage on the bogus nature, which is multi-ethnicity, multi-religion, and all this in multi-tribal difference. They will leverage on all this to be making excuses, and they themselves, they are united. They are united to make sure Nigeria does not work. But we ourselves, they know that bogus nature will make us not be able to hold them accountable. For example, if the local government chairman here now, the local government autonomy is signed, and then the local government chairman is fully in charge of this area, we can call him, we can go to his office and say, Mr. Manko, what are you doing? You get what I'm saying?
Yes,
we can be able to, we voted, you say you will do this canal. This canal is here, nothing has been done. So you see that the structure will be small and manageable for us who want to hold them accountable. But they don't want it to happen.
All right, thank you for calling, Nikki. God bless you. All right, 0700-903-903-903. That is the number to call. Please, when you call, just limit what you want to say to 2 minutes so that we can accept all the calls. It's important. All right. Hello. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Kindly turn down the audio of your radio, please. Hello.
Hello.
Turn down the audio of your radio. You can't want to hear yourself. In the process of you doing that, there's a feedback, and it will probably distort the communication. Hello?
Hello, I can hear you.
I know you can hear me, but I need you to turn down the audio of your radio. Turn it off completely, yes. All right. What's your name, please? Okay. We've lost that connection. 0700-903-903-903. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, how are you?
Yes, my name is Okubanjo Olainka.
Okubanjo Olainka, what's your location?
Okay, I want to contribute to the math subject matter on grant.
Can you kindly turn off the audio of your radio, please?
Okay.
Thank you. All right, go ahead. Oh, I can still hear that. You haven't done that. Completely turn off the audio of your radio. The feedback is distorted. All right? Hello?
Are you okay now?
Yes, we are okay.
Yes.
Go ahead,
Yes.
please.
Concerning the word restructuring, restructuring comes from two words.
All right.
That means recycling. And structuring is making form of another thing.
Okay.
We forget history down the line in Nigeria. We forgot history down the line in Nigeria that Nigeria has never revolved. Why do I say this? Because from the beginning of the existence of Nigeria, we have just three regions, maybe the northern, the southern, and the eastern. And as time goes on, all these things that we all this our
Okay. You have 2 minutes, please, so we can take other calls.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Thank you so much. 0700 903 903 903. 0700 903 903 903. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. How are you? Compliment of the season.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Compliment of the season. How are you? Name and location, please. Hello? Okay, please do call back. All right, 0700 903 903 903. Now we have a comment on YouTube, and this is from Yoruba TV. Good morning to everyone. Thank you. Good morning to you. Okay, so latest Nigerian news says if Gumi, a Yoruba or Igbo man, he would have been dead or been in jail for now. But on the other hand, I'm very happy with what's happening because Nigerians got what they voted for. 2023, vote right or vote wrong. All right. Thank you, latest Niger News, for that comment. Remember that you can also send a WhatsApp message as well on 0700 903 9039. Okay? So the number to call 0700 903 903 903. That's the number to call. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm fine. Compliment of the season.
Same to you.
Yeah, this is Best calling from Mejigo.
Best, finally. All right, Best. Go ahead.
Yeah. So, based on about the Gumi's matter, his statement. Yeah, there's one thing I think we Nigerians, we are always too quick to criticize government about some certain things.
Okay.
This statement he has uttered is quite it's a discriminating issue. It's a bad statement, quite right. But you wouldn't expect the government to just jump up immediately and go and arrest him. It's not called for. It's not like that.
Right.
We have our security intelligence. You've seen the video. They've heard the statement and everything. They will go through it. They will check it and know the next step to take. You won't just you are just condemning her. You should have done this. They can't do that. If you remember the case of Mamu, Mamu also has been a negotiator for Nigerian terrorists for some time, and people have been calling him, they want to be arrested. But when the government want to do their work, then they arrest him. They arrested him, and the DSS came out and told us that they have been tailing him since 2018. You can imagine. So all these things, even I believe they have been tailing Gumi as well. He is just compiling his woes. And I think when the time will come, they will arrest him. So it's nothing you can't rush it. If you rush and arrest him now, there will be a problem. Close to the election. That's just the fact.
All right.
The government, we have our security. They know what they are doing. We just calm down. I believe they will arrest him when the right time comes.
All right, Best. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. All right. 0700 903 903 903. That is a number to call. 0700 903 903 903. And the WhatsApp number is 0700 903 9039. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, talking about, I'm from Lagos, by the way.
What?
Talking about...
You're from Lagos. What's your name?
Simplicity.
Simplicity. Is this the first time?
Yeah, can I go on?
Go on, please.
Yeah, okay. Talking about Gumi and the government, this government doesn't have that political will, to arrest Gumi. If they have, they could have arrested Gumi. There's no reason to wait for anything. Because waiting for Gumi, waiting for that, he set the nation ablaze. He will set this nation ablaze with what he's doing, what he's speaking. And the president of the nation has assured Nigerians that he wants a peaceful election, credible. With this statement, sort of statement, personalities like Gumi, being allowed free reign, I don't think there's going to be any peaceful election. If there's going to be any election 2023 at all, because the people, those terrorists and their sponsors, they are jittery. Because people are coming on board. God is raising people in order to come and then change the narrative of Nigeria. As a matter of fact, the best thing for Nigeria now is to restructure. Restructure, that total restructure. What about the 2014 national confab result? Where is it? Why are they not talking about it? That Nigeria spent so much money for and got the results, very good results, and all that. They have done to that that report and they don't want to implement it. Let it be dusted up and they implement it. If there is dusted up as a matter of this nation is not necessary, Nigeria would have been very wonderfully restructured in all aspects so that we move forward.
All right.
That is the thing. So let that report be dusted up because Gumi is just representing the sponsors of and the sponsors of terrorism. There are high places in this nation, Nigeria now, especially in the government, the high government, federal government. They are culprits. Otherwise, they would have picked up Gumi and his life. His PA was picked up in Egypt, elsewhere, outside Nigeria. Why was it so? So much of our jobs are being done for us outside, and we are paying those people that are supposed to do the year, and they are quiet. They are not doing it. They don't have that political will to arrange Gumi. Otherwise, what does it take?
Thank you. All right. Thank you so much for calling on the program. It's important for us to try as much as possible to keep our train of thought as simple as we can. I'll take one final call so that I can read a WhatsApp message and then we'll wrap up the program today. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Name and location, please.
Yeah, my name is Innobest. I'm calling from Ikeja.
Innobest.
Chip in something, yeah.
Please, 1 minute.
Second to the last caller, the kind of people, the major people that have problems to this country are people like the second to the last caller.
Okay.
Gumi did not start today. Gumi started 2001. Gumi went to the forest to meet with terrorists. Was this not enough for the DSS and whatever official to call him and ask him how come he was not arrested, nothing happened to him? What link has he with them? And today, this is 2022 December. He's still saying the same thing. And that man is coming out to tell Nigeria that they have to kill. What is security intelligence? MFL did not roll out. It's not up to how many months now MFL roll out those plans that work against politicians and these same kidnappers that stack Nigeria money inside forest. They are calling for his arrest. That young man is telling Nigeria they are security intelligence. And you don't be surprised, even when the way it sounds, it's not from the north, it's from the southwest. These are the problem of this country. Their mentality is so low. I'm very sorry to say. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Please, when we do try to call to contribute, let's not insult and let's not defame or deface anybody. It is important for you to say what you want to say, but adequately try not to abuse or make any coercive statement. All right, I'm going to take this WhatsApp message. Good morning, compliment of the season. My name is Peter Osinubi from our 2 Estate. Restructuring, I don't think it is a solution. The police should be taken proper care of in terms of good salary, proper training, not to release gun carelessly. Thank you, Peter, for this message. And of course, on YouTube, Stephen Ife says Gumi has been causing problem for Nigeria even before Mahmoud. The man is working with the federal government. If not, they would have arrested him a long time ago. All right, we need to wrap up the program right about now. Issues in the news comes your way every weekday, okay? So from Monday to Friday. And we try as much as possible to discuss issues in the polity, trending stories. Sometimes we also try to go historical and see how the past with what is currently going on in the present is either there's going to be a merge or somehow look for a new way through which issues can be resolved. But it is important to always hear your contributions and your recommendations on the program. It is also enlightening to see how a lot of people are following the trends in the polity. It tells you that Nigerians are really ready to take the mantle this time and decide the kind of administration they want from now on, which is also very important. That's why what we try to encourage on issues in the news. All right. Thank you so much for being part of the program. My name is Esther Wachuku. Follow me on social media at Esther Waz on Instagram, Esther Wachuku on Twitter, Esther Wachuku on Facebook, and also Esther Wachuku on YouTube. All right. Do have yourself an amazing day.